Told my sister she couldn't come to our mother's funeral unless she signed over her share of the inheritance first, and now half my family won't speak to me. I know how that sounds, but after 3 years of being the only one holding the oxygen mask to my mother's face, I'm not sure I care about being the good brother anymore. Sister Alina moved to the coast 10 years ago to find herself, while I stayed in our hometown to run the family hardware store. When Mom's dementia took a sharp turn 3 years ago, Alina's contributions were limited to monthly FaceTime calls where she'd tell Mom how vibrant her energy felt, usually while I was in the background chaining a soiled bedsheet or arguing with insurance providers. Alina claimed her freelance design work didn't provide the financial stability or emotional bandwidth to help with the $4,000 a month memory care facility, so I paid for it. I drained my daughter's college fund and took out a second mortgage, thinking we'd settle up when the house eventually sold. Mom passed last Tuesday. Alina blew into town in a brand new SUV, wearing a designer black dress and sobbing about the spiritual hole Mom's absence left in her life. That evening over takeout, she casually mentioned how the sale of Mom's Victorian house would finally allow her to open her own studio. She didn't mention the $140,000 I'd spent keeping Mom alive and comfort. When I brought up the debts, she patted my hand and said, "We shouldn't sully Mom's memory with math, David." She wanted us to be equal. It was the breaking point. I had the only key to the cemetery plot and the paperwork for the service. I told her flat out, if she didn't sign a notarized agreement acknowledging my expenses as a priority lien against the estate, I would have the funeral home barred to her. I told her she could mourn from the sidewalk. Looked at me like I was a monster. She started screaming that I was monetizing grief and that Mom would be disgusted by my greed. Holding a funeral hostage is a low move and Mom would have hated the spectacle. But as I watched her cry, all I could think about was the 3 years of Saturdays I lost and the fact that my own kid might have to take out massive loans because I played the martyr for a sister who never showed up. Service was yesterday. She signed the papers, but she stood 30 feet away from the grave, shaking and refusing to look at me. My aunts are calling me cold-blooded, saying I chose a check over my sister's right to say goodbye. Maybe I did, but as I sit in my quiet house looking at my bank balance, I honestly can't tell if I'm the villain or just the only person who finally stopped paying the bill.